about fourth down.
Watch this
and
move.
They convert. Ooh, Gibbs still going. Oh, and he's tackled
Another
from
one,
behind.
just a shoe.
He had visions of the end
This
zone,
little doopy-doop.
but it was pulled down after a gain of 18 by DJ Wanham.
This NFL offseason, the Detroit Lions have made it perfectly clear who their organizational pillar players are as they enter next season. They made mega contract deal extensions to not only their quarterback Jared Goff, but also their all-pro wide receiver Amon Ra St. and potentially the best offensive lineman in the NFL, Penei Sewell. But who are the other players on this team that are going to get them to the ultimate success? Who is it going to be that's going to push them to a Super Bowl in 2024? Thank you guys so much for returning for another video. I am your host, Johnny Gaz. Today, we're going to continue our top 10 series on the channel. We're going to look at my top 10 breakout performers for the Detroit Lions in 2024. Let's go. Before we start talking about some of my favorite Detroit Lions, make sure to hit the like button on the video. It is the best free way to support the channel. Hit that subscription button and notify bell so you don't miss any future videos here on Johnny Gaz Sports. We also have a membership option now available. I am currently cultivating a ton of content to add to that membership option. You will see plenty more of these top 10 videos with a fun spin to it. We'd love to see you become more involved. Thank you guys so much for the support on the recent videos. Let's get into today's topic. As with any top 10 list or ranking here on the channel, always like to set some parameters. We entered the video talking about those organizational players. We are not going to include them on today's list. We're going to look at those secondary pieces that I believe will break out here in 2024. So guys like Jared Goff, Amon Ra St. Penei Sewell, and people that we expect to receive mega deals here in the very near future, Aiden Hutchinson, will be left off this list. We'll also talk about some honorable mentions as we go through this list. And by no means am I sitting here saying that the 10 players plus that I'm about to go through with you here are all going to break out in 2024. But for the Lions to achieve the ultimate success, I think a number of these players will have to take a step up. So let's start right there and talk about our top 10 breakout performers for the Detroit Lions in 2024. Starting this list off at number 10, I got to go back to my man Sam Laporta, the tight end who put on one of the most fantastic rookie seasons any tight end in NFL history has put on. Just a week ago, we did a full video profile on Sam Laporta. I urge you to go check that out. We go through not only his 2023 season in detail, but his past, his history, and we talk about the future for him in the Detroit Lions. Now, for me to start off a list, now he could certainly be much higher ranked, but because I've spent so much time on him and because he truly put up an amazing rookie season, it's hard to imagine him breaking out even further. So it was hard to put him any higher on this list. But ultimately, I've made the argument that Sam Laporta may be the most important offensive piece to the Detroit Lions because of the skill set that he provides. Not only catching the football, but in the blocking schemes for the Detroit Lions. Again, I went over his historic numbers, so I won't repeat the stats to you right here and now. But if he stays at that level or takes even a sliver of progression into 2024, we are talking one of the best, if not the best, tight end in football. So I'm going to start right there on this list with tight end Sam Laporta. At number 9, I'm going to move over to the defensive side of the football. Another gentleman that you could have put up higher on this list, and another guy sort of in relation to Sam Laporta who has kind of already proven himself. But I think with some of the additions on the defensive side of the football, I really think he is in for a breakout season in 2024, and that is defensive tackle Alim McNeill. Again, we're coming off a video several weeks back talking about getting help for Hutch. One of the pieces that we were able to rely on is defensive tackle Alim McNeill. He changed his body type heading into the 2023 season and really showed himself as one of the better defensive tackles in the league. The problem is he didn't have a lot of help surrounding him. So he is eating up double teams constantly, trying to take pressure off of Hutch. But I think ultimately both those guys need more help to move this thing forward. Alim McNeill is entering a contract year here in 2024, so not only does he have that motivation to be the best player possible, we also know the Lions brought in additional defensive line help to hopefully bolster that unit and give Alim McNeill more opportunities to make plays. Now, he didn't put up gaudy numbers statistically, but again, because he's eating up so many blocks, he's putting on twitchy pressure, he really does a fantastic job on the defensive line. So I really expect with the additions of DJ Reader, Marcus Davenport on the end, you're adding to the depth of that room. I really think he breaks out here in 2024. So at number 9, we're putting defensive tackle Aleem McNeil. And at number 8, I'm going to move into one of the fresh draft picks coming into 2024. We're going to look at cornerback Terrion Arnold. And the reason why I think he is set up for a breakout season here in 2024, it's a lot of pressure to put on a rookie cornerback. I know that. But the reason why you move up to get him, he did fall in the draft, surprisingly, and the Lions went ahead and got their guy, is because that was their true defensive deficiency in 2023. So, yes, they added Carlton Davis. We'll talk about him in a moment. Yes, they added Enos Rakestraw just behind Terrion Arnold. But I think Terrion is going to be the guy that you are going to rely on as your future cornerback 1. And I think it starts in year 1 right now. We're not in a situation, I think the Lions are, to wait on him or hope that he develops. He needs to step in, and I think on day 1 be cornerback 2 behind Carlton Davis. But throughout the season, I expect hopefully to see that shift. And as we move throughout 2024, you hope that he starts to show everything he showed in college as far as his press coverage, his ability to be sticky on wide receivers. And that's the type of defense that Aaron Glenn likes to run. I know they got away from it in previous seasons because of some talent deficiencies on defense. But Terrion Arnold is a step in the right direction. And being able to cover man in this defense will help the entirety of the defense in general. So I really believe that Terrion Arnold is set up for success in 2024, and he does belong at this list at number 8. At number 7, kind of an offshoot one, maybe not have expected this one, but I'm going to throw wide receiver Donovan Peoples-Jones in the mix for a breakout player in 2024. Here's why. Donovan Peoples-Jones was brought to the Lions last year at the trade deadline, I think in an effort to bolster the wide receiver room. I think at that time there wasn't enough production from guys like Jameson Williams, Josh Reynolds, Khalif Raymond, where they felt they needed an extra weapon. Well, unfortunately, Donovan Peoples-Jones, DPJ, did not really provide anything statistically in the 2023 season. But if you look back on his history, and many Lions fans are already familiar with DPJ from his time at Michigan, throughout his time with the Browns, he actually had decent seasons, and every year in 2020, 21, and 20, 21, and 22 increased his receptions, his yards, and his touchdowns. Now, he had the injury and had some issues in 2023. So the Lions, I think, got him on a pretty good deal there at the trade deadline. We know coming into this season that there's questions in regards to that wide receiver room for the Lions, and we made a very detailed video about how I believe Jameson Williams is the final piece to the best offense in the NFL. Well, if for some reason he doesn't give them enough, or if they just need more production from other wide receivers in that room, I think that comes from Donovan Peoples-Jones. I don't think there's enough there from Khalif Raymond or the other young wide receivers that they have depth-wise to step in and give them what they need in that room. So I truly believe that with a full offseason, with a full bill of health for Donovan Peoples-Jones, that he is set up for a career season here with the Lions in 2024. And at number 6, we're going to go back to the defensive backfield. And obviously in 2023, that was the Lions' bugaboo. They did not have enough talent in the defensive backfield after injuries and just truly assessing the entirety situation there for cornerback. So in turn, the Lions traded for Carlton Davis from the Buccaneers this offseason. He is a very reliable corner, again, a more man-focused cover corner, and I think that's really what the Lions are kind of gearing that room towards. But they end up trading a third-round pick and received Davis as well as some sixth-round picks back in return, again, to bolster that defensive backfield. Now, I just talked about Terrion Arnold and what I think will be another breakout season for him as well, but I think it's all predicated on what Carlton Davis can give them. They need him to step in and be their number one cornerback to start the season, to show the young guys the way and really lead that room for 2024. That is vitally important. If Carlton Davis can help turn that room around, I think it really turns around the defense overall and gives the Lions a fantastic shot in 2024. Carlton Davis has had some injury concerns over the past several seasons. He's missed a handful of games each year, so we're hoping he stays healthy. But if so, I truly believe he has a breakout season for the CB1 for the Detroit Lions here in 2024. At number 5, we're going to talk about linebacker Jack Campbell. And I truly believe this could be one of the ultimate breakout performers in 2024. I feel like they're grooming him into that middle linebacker role behind Alex Anzalone. And word from Detroit Lions camp, again, thank you to Pride of Detroit, has indicated that Jack Campbell has sort of taken that next step as far as leadership, as far as commanding the defense, taking control as a Mike linebacker. And I believe that 2024 is his time to shine. Yes, Alex Anzalone is still there, and I am not discounting him at all. He is truly one of the heartbeats of the Lions, and his tutelage with Jack Campbell, I think, is ultimately what's going to lead him to that direction. But Campbell as a rookie and stepping in as linebacker is not easy, but he did a fantastic job. We know he was their second first-round pick by the Lions in 2023, and at the end of the year, he ended up starting 11 of the last 12 games. He finished the regular season with 95 tackles, 52 solo, 5 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks. And it was the second most on the team as far as tackles to Alex Anzalone, and that's really right where you want your middle linebacker to be. So I think, although I think he still starts behind Alex Anzalone to start the season, I really believe from the word from camp and the play that you're seeing, he might move himself into the starting linebacker role before the end of the season, and that is why he is number 5 on this list. And at number 4, we're going to go back to the defensive line / linebacker, right? And we're going to talk about James Houston. I think the ultimate unknown for what he could be in 2024. You know, we know 6th-round draft pick, Jackson State, spent some time at Florida before that, was kind of an admiration in 2022, right, where he had 8 sacks in 7 games for the Detroit Lions. We know what happened in 2023 with the injury just after 2 games there, and unfortunately he missed really the rest of the year. So it's hard to know what James Houston will give the Lions in 2024. But with all of the other additions, what we talked about on the defensive line, the help in the defensive backfield, he's going to get every opportunity to either prove he's that player from 2022 or that was a mirage. So to me, I think if we're looking at the big picture, again, with all those other talented players around him, I think he takes that next step. So if he is that player that he showed in 2022, he could be the ultimate breakout player in 2024. So that's why I have him at number 4 on this list. At number 3, you could make the argument he might have been the Lions' breakout star in 2024. We're going to talk about safety Brian Branch. Again, another fantastic organizational draft pick. Getting him in the 2nd round last year was a steal. And he proved from week 1 with that pick 6 off of Patrick Mahomes that he's a difference maker. He is a playmaker. He mixes in any sort of defense. He's not afraid to tackle, get involved in the quarterback pressure game, and ultimately be that playmaker the Lions needed on defense, along with a few others there in 2023. So does he take that next step in 2024? Now, I know we have a little bit of an injury concern. He went in for surgery here just before or at the start of OTAs. They're hoping to clear that all up before the start of training camp and obviously before the season. I'm expecting that to play out that way. And if so, for him to have another full season with the Lions. And if he does, he will be a major cog to the defense at the safety position. I think he's really a jack of all trades. Brian Branch can be used all over the field, not only at outside corner, inside corner, nickel back, at the safety, and even used as sort of this kind of in-between slot linebacker. So there's so many uses for Brian Branch. I think he statistically proved himself last year, showed everything that he has, and I think that trajectory continues in 2024. So I have him at number 3, Brian Branch, on this list for breakout performers in 2024. At number 2, I have the man that I have called the final piece to the Lions having the best offense in 2024. That is Jameson Williams. Word out of camp is that he has been the most improved player heading into this season, and that is everything you wanted to hear for Jameson Williams. I think it's been a slow burn for him because of the injury, his first season, obviously the gambling suspension last year, but then once he finally got rolling, they started to find ways to work him into the offense, get him the ball, and towards the end of the year really became an offensive weapon. Well, again, if that continues, if they find ways to get him the ball, scheme him to where he looks more like he did at Alabama, continue to get him opportunities. I mean, the speed is there, the athleticism is there. everything is leaning that direction. If he holds up his end of the bargain like it is showing here in OTAs as we head into the season, I think the Lions have a fantastic shot to have that best unit in the NFL in 2024. Because of that, I have Jameson Williams, the wide receiver, number 2 on my list. And at number 1, if we're going to talk about potentially having the best offense in the NFL, you got to look at the running backs and the man you see on the thumbnail, the man we entered this video with, Jahmyr Gibbs. He had an amazing rookie season. I think he showed he is dynamic, he is fast, he is tough. He really can give you everything that you need in an NFL running back. In 2023, he had 182 carries for 945 yards. That's a 5.2-yard average as a rookie and 10 scores. He also contributed in the passing game. Him combined with David Montgomery, I think, was a fantastic two-headed monster. And again, giving Jared Goff that insulation at running back, the play-action game, combined with the offensive line, a really potent mix there for the Lions offense in 2023. Now, the way I see this playing out is that because Jahmyr Gibbs has sort of proven himself, I really think he kind of takes on that number 1 running back role this year. I think he kind of overcomes David Montgomery's carries and certainly gets more opportunities in the passing game, and that's why he'll see more time on the field. I think he's a little bit more dynamic than what David Montgomery can give you, and I think we'll see a lot more of that in 2024. So Jameson Williams at wide receiver combined with what could be the most dynamic running back in the NFL, Jahmyr Gibbs, the Lions are looking up, especially on the offensive side of the football. So at number 1, for what I think will be the number 1 breakout performer for the Detroit Lions in 2024 is running back Jahmyr Gibbs. What I find most exciting about going through a list like this is how easy it was for me to find 10, if not 20 breakout players or who I thought could potentially break out in 2024. If I tried to do this list for you 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I probably would have had trouble finding 5 players. This year seems a lot different, and I really have high hopes for 2024. Again, ultimately, I don't expect all these players to break out or take the next step or continue all their trajectories into superstardom. That's unrealistic. But we've talked about the top 10 potential breakout players for the Detroit Lions in 2024. We've given you reasons behind them, and it's been a lot of fun. But let me know what you think. Did I mess up the list? Are there any other breakout performers I didn't mention in today's video? Definitely hit me up in the comments. I always love discussing Lions football with you guys. Let me know what you think. I really appreciate you guys coming along for another video. Make sure to hit that like button if you dug what we did here today. The subscription button and notify bell is the best way to make sure you don't miss any future videos here on the channel. And make sure to take care of your mental health. That is so important more than anything else. I definitely want to see you guys return on future videos. Thank you so much for your time. I will see you guys very soon.